tick, tick, tick on the wall. Maybe you could have it all. Get down on your knees and pray. Maybe she will let you stay. Good enough if you play the game. Here comes the music, don't resist. Gotta keep on moving. Here comes the music, just give in. Gotta keep on moving.
I guess we probably could have done like 40 seconds.
It doesn't matter. The time, we don't have 5 seconds to spare, dude. We gotta get into this.
I know, we gotta fucking move.
Okay. Also, Patrick, if you do want it, I have an Xbox 360 copy of Fallout New Vegas here. I've set aside for you. I'm gonna hold up to the camera.
Well, the issue is, well, actually, can Xbox Series X's play 360 discs?
Yes, they can. Only for specific games, of which this is one. But yeah.
Does it still have to ping the Xbox 360 servers? Because that was the issue.
That I do not know. Yeah, let's. You know what? This is a podcast by gamers and for gamers specifically. So let's go. Let's talk about Xbox.
All right,
They've been in
guys.
the
So
news a little.
Xbox, they just changed their Game Pass price by
Did you say
$10
Game
whole
Pass?
per Game Pass. Game Pass, more like Game Ass.
Oh shit. Okay, that was pretty good.
Oh, it's not me throwing shade this time.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Microsoft.
Actually, I have zero problems, Joe, if you want to go after Microsoft. They are one of the few groups that is not a protected group.
Yeah, you can fucking you could rant about Microsoft. I think the only people we risk alienating are
Phil
people
Spencer.
who don't care about video games. Or
Nope,
Todd
I got
himself.
no problems. I got no problems with Microsoft. Wholesome corporation.
Okay. Yeah, no, I
love Teams. Teams is my favorite internal chat channel.
I like how when I click on the buttons, it makes everybody in the meeting, and I love how my favorite thing about Teams actually is when I get on these meetings and people still don't fucking know how to share their screen. It's been 5 fucking years.
Same goes for Zoom or anything else.
Any of these
It's
shits.
perplexing how people are still so inept with all these video conferencing software when we had the pandemic to learn all of it.
One of the worst ones is a specific client we have who is a developer in Atlanta, and if she's listening, fuck you. You know I hate you. And
my
I'm not going to
gosh.
say her name. She made a mistake and thought that I had made a mistake and sent an email to everybody in my office publicly shaming me and asking them to fire me.
Oh, I think is that one of the emails you
Damn.
did you
I
tell us
might have
about
shared
this?
that one in the Discord. Anyway, with the name bleeped out. But let's call her Jane. Get fucked, Jane. Also, every time we have one of these Zoom meetings and she's supposed to be sharing her engineering plans or architecture plans or whatever, she's like, I still haven't figured out how to do that. It's just so complicated, you know? She's been doing this for 5 years, literally this specific thing. And every time we have to like, okay, I guess I'll pull it up for you. And it's so aggravating. I just don't know. Even to the point that we've actually told her no before, and then she sent like a bunch of emails to the commissioner's office to be like, fire these people.
Near's telling a story we
inability-
can all connect to about Karens in the
Yeah.
workplace.
Yeah, but also the inability of boomers to just Google shit. It's crazy.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Yeah.
Like I've had my boss at my previous job. My job was to diffuse hairy tech situations before he got so mad that kind of like doing the rest of the workday would be difficult to do. Which most of it was just he would ask me a question, I would Google it, and then I would just do what Google said to do. Which was usually just reading like a Microsoft Excel help forum.
Yeah.
It's just not hard to do.
It is hard to do because I think people are coming after Gen Z for having like no reading comprehension abilities. I also think that's true of a lot of older folks. I think they literally never learned how to read things and understand what they're reading.
We've come full circle as far as that sort of stuff goes.
We are there's like a very small group of people, which I guess is us, who like know how a computer works, and once we're dead, it's fucking over. Hey everyone, this is a Court of Bros and Bros. This is a podcast where 3 straight men are on a maiden voyage through Sarah J. Maas's A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and maybe we learned something along the way. My name is Nirav, and I'm your host, and I'm joined by my co-host. Say your name, guys, but one at a time, please.
Your name, guys, but one at a time, please.
All right.
Aha.
Ho-ho.
I'm Patrick.
Patrick is a dad, so he is okay to make that joke.
Yeah, I'm okay to say that.
And Joe, you are a new dad in a way.
I am Joe. I am a recent cat dad.
Yes, excellent. So
Now all
and
three of
for
us are
those-
cat owners. This is an exclusively cat owners podcast.
that's true.
Mm-hmm.
This is a no dogs allowed podcast. Although I do have a dog living in this apartment now, so
Speaking of
never mind.
In
I
this
also had to stop
apartment?
my cat from chewing on plastic, so this is good. That is good timing of this introduction.
Okay. Lindsay is like effectively moved in, even though her like lease isn't up yet. So like her big furniture is not here, but she is living here and her dog also.
Oh, I didn't realize that she had a dog.
Yeah, Zuzu. Shout out to Zuzu on the podcast. Of course, named after Zuko from Avatar.
Does Zuko from Avatar listen to this podcast?
Sorry, are you asking if like Dante Bosco
I'm asking if Dante Bosco listens to the
listens
podcast.
to this podcast?
Exactly.
He does have his own podcast called Bending the Elements, which is good shit. It's an Avatar podcast, so check that out.
How much can you actually record week to week new content about about a show that is over?
So it's hosted by him and Janet Varney, who voiced Korra, and the two of them basically they do an episode by episode rewatch sort of thing through both of those shows. But each episode they have on a guest of some like artist or storyboarder or like sound technician or anybody who worked on Avatar at any point to talk.
Oh,
about
it's sick.
how
It's
they
like a
made the
behind the
episode.
scenes thing.
Yeah, it's really behind the scenes. It's a cool thing. It's called Braving the Elements. Sorry, good podcast though.
Cool.
Anyway, yeah. Sorry, that was free advertising because they are certainly not putting out an ad for our show.
No, they are. I spoke to Dante about it.
Yeah, I actually did speak to Dante because I got Lindsay a cameo from him for Christmas, which I wonder if I could maybe remix that cameo a little bit so it sounds like an advertisement for our show.
Are you talking
That,
about using AI to make
think
it sound like
is-
he said different things?
I'm
it's illegal.
talking about manually just cutting the audio so it's like you should listen to a court of bros and broses. It's like
Did he
that,
say any of those words in the cameo for
Not to
Lindsay?
not to my knowledge.
That'd be such a
so-
specific weird cameo.
Is it still? You know what though, Joe? I don't even think it is illegal to make an AI do that, but it's illegal if I manually cut it up and do that right now.
I
That
think
can't
it's
be right.
illegal to.
It's a gray
make
area.
somebody-
It's
It's
a
illegal unless you're OpenAI. If you're anybody
Oh,
other than a
okay.
massive corporation, it's illegal.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
that's
buddy
a good
Sam.
point.
My
OpenAI
buddy
does have
Sam-
immunity.
I really hope that thing about Nintendo actually suing them is true. That would be very funny, and I would love their lawyers to go through with that.
That'd be
There
dope.
was do you know about the Sora video thing now? Like that can just generate videos on command that look apparently hyper realistic.
Sora from Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, Sora from Kingdom Hearts is in the computer, and you tell him, hey, can you generate a picture of Mario, like, humping this dog, and then he'll do it, and he'll give it to you, and then you can send it around to everybody, and it looks like official animation.
That's crazy. Nintendo should go after those guys.
Yeah, this
But,
is like the one time I think we want Nintendo to mobilize their lawyers.
Speaking of intellectual property, A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Yeah.
I've never heard
so,
of it.
last time we did the first 5 chapters of the new book,
What the fuck?
and now we're doing chapters 6 through 10, which kind of
Yes.
takes
And
us
they-
through all of part 1.
Yeah, that was pretty strategic, and yeah, because we end on, like, a pretty crazy status quo shift, I'll say. in
Yeah, a
these
huge
sections.
shift. I'm really excited to see what happens next.
Yeah,
So previously we ended on Farah pulling a hilarious prank on
She's
Lucian
got-
and Tamlin.
You know what the thing is? She's got even more hilarious pranks lined up in this section.
Dude, she
of the
has
book.
so many. She only scratched the pranking surface. She's got so many pranks lined up. I love that. I love that because we talked about at the end of last episode, we had our predictions. We're kind of just generally talking like, oh, does everything go according to plan? Like, does she get cut off? Like, does shit go sideways? And like, it forces her to leave. And without getting too ahead of ourselves, she actually does manage to like basically do everything that she had planned until like the very, very end.
It was kind of and it didn't actually come crashing down in the end the way I
No.
thought it would, where she overstepped her plan. It was only due to a moral quandary that she ran into where she knowingly went against her plan.
Yes.
So I was incorrect in my prediction.
And I like that it's still like, I like that better because it still leaves the control of everything in her hands. Like, to your point, like, she made the decision to abandon her plan to do this, and then she had to deal with the consequences of it.
Although there was some trickery afoot where there was a plan running against her, which we'll get to the whole time.
Yeah, we should let's go through it, and then we can get to that point when we get there.
Yeah. Okay, so we kicked this off.
This part one slaps.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah,
I really.
I was in the car with Alexa listening to the very end of this, where stuff fucking gets crazy, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I was not expecting this to go.
Oh
this way.
yeah, there's beast mode. This is like Feyre going like, okay, if we're gonna use a Naruto analogy, how far into like the 9-tailed fox is she? How many tails is she at?
We should, I think that's a good way to make it more relatable to our target demographic. I think this
I've used Naruto.
I think she's like
analogy.
She's like 7 tails in right now. Or how many levels of Super Saiyan is she at? Because there's always like another one they end up digging up that like.
Or Rock Lee, how many
ankle weights,
was it Gates?
Fucking yeah, the thing is that Feyre has like exposed that she has been wearing ankle weights the entire like first 2 books, and she's taken them off very dramatically in the middle of this battle with Tamlin, and now you're like, oh my god, she was holding herself back the whole time.
Yep. Okay, so we start off with Feyre mentions that during the whole drama between Lucien and Tamlin was so distracted and so big mad at Lucien that some keys go missing.
Did you say so big mad at Lucien?
Yes.
All right, continue.
Please let Spotify grab that. Let's just say it a bunch. Big mad at Lucien.
The chapter title will be Big Mad at Lucien.
Yeah, we should start just saying stuff and see if we can get Spotify
to get the AI to do things.
Big mad at Lucien. Big mad at Lucien.
Tamlin so big mad at Lucien. Tamlin so big mad at Lucien. All right, let's see. We'll see if that plays out.
This is like when people like Google bomb something by like Googling it a bunch and clicking on the same link, over and over again.
Watch, it's gonna, just to spite us, the name of this section is gonna be tricking Spotify chapter titles.
Yeah, so Ianthe is rolling around. She's fucking slinking around, and she's like, "Hey, everybody, my temple, it's not doing super well. The Naga, they're coming for me, and they're gonna attack, obviously, any second now at my temple, which is very important." And
Feyre's just like, why don't you just hire some gardeners to clean the land? Yeah. Maybe it's just kind of dirty, and you need to hire some gardeners to clean up the.
Maybe your temple sucks.
Yeah, maybe your temple just sucks. You think about that, Ianthe? So it's not clear here, and it doesn't even actually, to me, I don't understand this in this entire. Even at the end of this, I don't understand if Ianthe if the Naga are actually attacking her temples, or if Ianthe is just planting some bullshit seed right now to come back later. I'm still a little confused about it. Maybe we talk about it once the Naga stuff actually happens, but I'm still a little confused about this.
I think this was just trying to set up that, or rather, this was Ianthe trying to set up for the thing that happens later to just like plant a little bit of like, oh, like the Naga, they're out and about, like, just for her thing later, that's I think that's all it is.
Yeah.
So,
because also when Feyre says like Tamlin didn't even note his keys to the estate going missing, my assumption here, based on the wording of that, is Feyre was the one who stole the keys.
Yeah, that was what I thought too, and maybe I was wrong about that, but
that's what I mean. I'm a little confused. Let's talk about it once the Naga attack.
Yeah,
happens,
like because that part I got a tiny bit confused on like who had done what, but yeah, we'll get to that. So yeah, Ianthe makes a comment about Tamlin like returning the wings of Rhys's mother and sisters that I think it was his dad had taken as trophies. Is that right?
Yeah, it's when that whole attack thing happened. Tamlin's dad had them displayed on the trophy wall.
Did we know that had happened?
Yeah, that happened in the last book.
No, you're right. They mentioned that. Yeah, because
in the last book we talked about the 3 of us were like, oh my gosh, did Tamlin have the wings on his trophy room wall the whole time, and like we couldn't really remember.
Right.
And we were thinking, no, probably not.
But no, I think Tamlin burned. He says he burned them a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't think he wanted to look at them.
In the last 5 chapters, actually, Feyre mentioned at some point that she had been looking around the estate for these wings. Like, she wanted to try and recover them and bring them back to Rhys.
Yeah.
So she'd been looking for them before, and this is when we get the reveal that Tamlin burned those wings right now.
Look, this is the thing, I feel like this has been doubled down in this section. Like, Tamlin is not evil, but he is so stupid, he might as well be.
Yes, that's the thing. And like that's what we kind of alluded to in the last episode. It's just like the redemption arc for Tamlin is just going to be that he's a freaking idiot. He's a stupid.
He's a dumb baby. He's a little baby bottle.
He's a dumb baby, but he has good intentions, even if they are just...
I bet if I put your
so
son,
bad.
your like year-and-a-half-old son, and Tamlin in a battle of wits, Tamlin would lose.
I think you're right. Yeah. I think my son would just repeat some word over and over again, and Tamlin would get frustrated and storm off.
By the way, when you said this earlier, I decided to just check what Spotify generated for our last episode. There is a section that says Patrick's son learns vocabulary from the book. Which I thought was pretty good. But yeah, let's see. Lucian's calamari ordeal. No, that says calamari. Okay.
Oh man, that'd be so funny.
Very good though.
Calamari ordeal.
Yeah. Feyre's nighttime prank to incite Tamlin's jealousy is pretty good. Okay.
The fact that we called it a prank is
oh my god! Like this also said Feyre's epic summer solstice prank.
Called everything a prank.
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so yeah, Lucian and Feyre and Jurian and then the twins, they head out to go see the second hole in the wall. And on this adventure, Feyre actually starts to inquire with Lucian, I think both for information and, like, for just earnestly, like, is there any way to get out of this deal with Hybern that he's made in this contract? And, like, Lucian was like, no, the king is too smart for that. You know, he made this... The wording that they chose was very specific, and they're bound by magic, so, like, Tamlin will basically die, if essentially. He'll lose his power and probably die if he breaks their contract, which was very specifically laid out. So the King of Hybern's basically a genie, from what I got from this.
Well, they explain that it's old magic. Like, even the deal with Rhys, the bargain of 1 week out of every month you have to be at the night court. It's basically the power of like promises and bargains are this old ancient magic that if you were to break the deal, you then risk some consequences falling on you, a loved one, something that basically promises and bargains can't be broken without the magic exacting some retribution.
Quick aside, you know that like meme quote from Narnia where Aslan is like, "Do not cite the ancient words to me, which I was there when they were written," or whatever. Like Lindsay tried to quote that the other day, but what she said was, "I wrote the magic words."
That's the exact quote. I think that's from the abridged version,
which is very good. So shout out. I think that maybe was from the Children's Illustrated Classics version of the book.
I do like that one.
I do like those books. Actually, those
cover.
were really good when I was a kid, so shout out to the Illustrated Classics series. Okay, so yeah, the deep magic will definitely kill Tamlin or something equally as bad if he does not allow them to, use his lands and all that stuff. So then
Feyre seems pretty unconcerned with that. She's kind of just like, not my problem.
Yeah, I think she really doesn't care about that. But she does ask, like what happened after I left, basically. And, we get reiterated again that Tamlin, destroyed the manor and, destroyed his room and her room. And, this part kind of struck me, which is that he killed the sentries who were on guard that day in, a public execution.
Yeah, I mean, and that just alludes to,
what's coming, I guess. But
what's coming, yeah. Tamlin is losing a lot of faith with his peeps. In
a way, it's you would get from you would get why from his perspective these guards have done badly at their job. Sure. Usually when people are bad at their job, they get fired. And you can see that Tamlin is like if this was Rhysand or something, he would have dismissed these guards, right? He would have been like, okay, you're done here, get out. Tamlin is it's time to publicly execute these people. I don't even know if Rhysand would have fired these guards, because realistically, think about what are a handful of guards going to do about
Morgan coming in and quote
yeah.
stealing Farah. Like thinking about it logically, what are a couple sentries going to do?
Dude, you've already made a crucial mistake in applying any logic to Tamlin's decisions.
No, it's not. I'm saying I don't think Reese would fire them because Reese is logical and Tamlin is a big dumb baby.
Well, I still think even Reese in this book would have killed the sentries also, because or done something he would have regretted later in a logical frame of mind. Because I think what we're seeing in this book is the running theme of the illogical and wrong things people are doing for love, or as a result of spurned love.
I don't think Reese is doing that stuff to his own court, though.
I'm saying like in this book, had that happened to I'm saying if it happened to Reese, I think he would have, given the theme we're seeing in this book. Although Reese is like the paragon of like I can't do no wrong. But with Tamlin, we're seeing that he's willing to sacrifice literally everything for somebody that he thinks is his belonging and his love. Same with Jurian. He's like, oh, my lover, who's my property, spited me. I'm going to, once I've been resurrected from the dead, I'm going to just
we'll
do
talk
everything
about
I
that
can
more
to
in a
punish
minute.
her. So there's a running theme of like revenge, like just like what love can look like when it is entirely wrong and not true love.
Right, but I don't think, to my point is, I don't think Reese would do that because he's not one of those guys.
Although
like
Reese
is specifically
I think
he's shown to
have like a temper sometimes, but like not to
when
that
it comes
degree,
to
obviously.
when it comes to like, I think if somebody had harmed Feyre, I think he's better at controlling it. But yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see if the roles were reversed later.
If someone had harmed Feyre, I think he would attack the people who harmed her. But I don't think if it was people in his.
I think you're right. He's not really one for taking his rage out on people who do not deserve it, for sure. So anyway, let's move on. So we learn a little bit about that, of course, and then they meet 3 of the Children of the Blessed who we haven't seen in 2 books now. So these are, if you guys remember, who are listening, there is basically a cult of humans that worship the Fae as like gods, essentially, and their whole thing is that they want to integrate themselves into Fae society by being their slaves. That is sort of the object of the Children of the Blessed. And so we run into 3 of them, and that things go poorly quickly. So Feyre...
Well, first Feyre, it seems like Feyre has succeeded in scaring them off. So there's
a conversation
twins,
first.
What was that?
With them, I was going to say there's a conversation first where the twins are trying to convince the people to come across the wall, and they want to, because they're like, oh yeah, I want to get sexed by these folks here. And as they're wanting to do that, Feyre like breaks into their minds and is trying to convince them basically to leave by revealing the truth of what is going to happen to them if they do get taken. So like, and then also like not even just revealing what the truth of what's going to happen to them, but also like putting like exaggerated images of the monsters that fairies are into their head. Yeah. Like any story they've heard of fairies as a child about fairies being monstrous, like putting that into their head to say, oh, all fairies are bad, horrible monsters. We should run and never come back. She also encourages them to like get as many friends as they can and hop on a boat and leave the continent. Oh yeah. There's that whole thing. And so, later, there's a discussion with Jurian here where like a bunch of stuff that they're going to talk about, which I thought was very interesting. But the first thing is like, thank you for getting rid of them, because man, these 2 are fucking crazy. Like, which I think is interesting because I was sort of lumping in my head, we haven't really had like a conversation with Jurian until now. So like, I think in my head I was sort of lumping him in with these insane incest twins, but I think he's pretty clear. Like, I'm not with them. I'm doing my own insane thing. This seems like Jurian has made a begrudging alliance with them to accomplish his own goals. Right, which is his own selfish goals, mind you. They're his bad, own insane. And he's still a bad guy. Yeah, he's a bad guy. He has insane bad goals, but like
he's like, I'm not with these clowns. I want to do my own bad shit.
Right.
And then he sits down with Farah at the fire, and he's very much like, well, first off, he says about how he talks about how he doesn't, because Farah assumes Farah assumes that he wants to get back with Miriam, and he's like, no. Miriam betrayed me. I want to find her and basically kill her and everyone. Like, he wants his revenge on her. He doesn't want to get back with her. Drag her out of hiding to make her regret what she did, basically.
Yeah, Jurian also drops like a big bomb here, which is that like because he knows Rhys very well because of when they fought together and everything, and he tells a story about how Rhys risked like his own life and that of his like whole army to save Miriam, and that was how he was captured. But he knew it was a trap because they wanted Prince Draken from Kim Possible.
Yeah.
So Rhys defied orders, and then he marched his whole legion in there to get Miriam out anyway, even though he knew it was a trap. And so basically Jurian is like, look, I know Rhys puts on this front for everybody because he's trying to hide something and he wants people to keep their distance. But like, I do know what kind of person he is, and I know that he didn't do any of the things to him that you're telling Tamlin that he did.
He's like that kind of person that does that, makes that choice, and that I knew doesn't change over 500 centuries, which is because he's like, that's not a long time.
500 centuries is a long time, actually. I'm going to count it.
Or 500. Yeah. So he's like, this is the first inkling where we're like, okay, more of this plan. Like, people are not, other than the dumb Tamlin and Lucian, who maybe is a little more, who has an inkling but doesn't know as much about the Night Court as like everybody else. This is where we're like, okay, maybe this whole game might be up a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, this is the point where I was
the plan is working on the people it matters for.
Yeah,
though, right?
Yeah.
It's working on Tamlin. It's working on Ianthe. It's working on Lucian enough to keep him quiet.
To keep him at bay,
and it's working on. And what was that?
Oh, like just to keep him at bay, basically. Like,
he's definitely suspicious, but he's
a
not
lie a
like,
day keeps the Lucian away.
Yep. And then it also is working on all like the sentries and all the people of the Spring Court, and that's what really matters. Like the goal of what she's doing isn't to necessarily trick Hybern, although she does want information. The goal of what she's doing is to make the Spring Court fall from within.
Yeah, which I mean, honestly, like I think you can see here that like this is one of those situations where, especially here, this alliance is like about as sturdy as like me balancing like a rock on a pin cushion or something. Like it's just like it's so shaky. Like everybody is out for their own separate different thing. Like nobody really seems to be on the same page about what they're doing, and like the Spring Court itself is already like built on so much like cracked foundation, essentially. Like Farah's basically just like pumping some water and it letting the whole thing break down. It's already like busted, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and as we hear again, as Tamlin killed sentries previously, Tamlin's already done plenty of work to make it a pretty rough foundation.
Yes.
And everything he's done even before the events of all of this, it's just like, yeah, to your point, Farah she's just helping to escalate or to help to accelerate the process of the Spring Court falling down. And her goal is basically to make it as weak as possible, so when Hybern comes in, the Spring Court falls, which can then, first off, it's revenge to Tamlin, but it's also to, as the Spring Court falls to Hybern, she says this later, that it will act as a rallying cry to hopefully unite the rest of all the other courts.
Yeah.
That is her hope in all this.
Yeah. So she and Lucian have to share a tent that night, and my first thought was like, oh, I can't believe Tamlin would still want them to do that after his whole, like, you know, Farah's epic prank. But then I was like, oh, well, I guess her other options are the insane incest twins or Jurian, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I also suspect, I don't know if necessarily Tamlin knew they'd be sharing a tent. I don't know if he thought about that.
But, like, also I think they made a point that, like, they can only carry so much weight when they're winnowing, so, like, that kind of limits the amount of, like, tents and supplies and shit that they can bring with them.
There are sentries with them too, though, aren't there? Like
There are two sentries with them, you're right, who are also
couldn't
carrying
she have
things.
just slept with one of the sentries?
Would
I
that
don't
be
know.
better? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
And in Tamlin's eyes, probably.
It's about to really not matter in a few chapters. So,
100%.
Yeah, we're
And one other thing that Jurian said, and Joe alluded to this, is that Jurian, I think, basically explicitly tells Farah, like, I know you're up to something, basically. And this is the first hint that we get that someone else is onto her. And as you said that, Joe, but the important thing that I started to wonder here is if Jurian is theoretically onto Farah, how much of the information that has he been giving has been truthful? And is he feeding her lies or not?
I don't know that he is, because I think we learned pretty quickly. I think he literally says he has no allegiance to Highburn. I don't think he even particularly cares how this war goes. I think he literally just wants his revenge, and so I don't think he actually cares if he's feeding her. I don't think he cares enough to feed her false information. I think he would just not talk to her if he was going to do that.
True.
Yeah, because well, I guess we can talk. We'll get to this. I guess we can do this now. So to Jurian's motivations a little more. So Lucian and Feyre, they share the tent, and they wake up the next day, and they can smell blood. So what happened was, or I guess Lucian wakes up and he is kind of covering Feyre's mouth, I think, and is like, "Don't say anything," and looks kind of like exasperated. And they both smell blood, and Feyre knows that she can smell basically like the smell of like rot and decay. That is mortality in the blood. So she knows that mortals have been killed. And basically the royal twins have gone through the wall, hunted down the three children of the Blessed, tortured and killed them, and explicitly brought their bodies back over the wall and kind of left them as a marker for Feyre.
Yeah. And I think it's that they specifically left them where they knew Feyre would find them.
Oh yeah, they basically not only that, but they made like a show of the bodies. Like they cut them up and like almost painted them around a clearing as if they were setting out a display for her.
Yeah,
that was very much like communicating like, hey, like we still have power over you.
Right, yeah, like you can't, like, this is who we are and you have no like power to stop us from being who we are. We love it. So yeah, that's pretty rough. I will just say. So basically,
and then we get to a new prank with a guest appearance from Lucian.
And first, Feyre does propose we should bury these, and Lucian says, we can't do that. That just sends a message that we're willing to clean up after them.
Yeah.
And she says, well, let's send them a different message. Hard cut to chapter 8.
I liked the hard
This
cut.
is so funny because they handle
it like kind of book.
They handle it like a flashback instead of showing what happened. And that's happened a couple times in this book so far, where like things play out in a certain way, and then Feyre will then explain like, and this is what happened from our point. Like we then get the flashback explanation.
She really wants you to experience that prank like in its pure unadulterated form.
It was very screenplay-esque.
100%. It's cut like a TV show because it's just like we'll pay him back in a different way. And then it cuts to them sitting in the principal's office, like getting scolded.
No, that's what it was. Yeah, like you can't do this. Those are our allies. And being very intentionally vague on what exactly happened until it's the right time to reveal it. Yeah, it was the principal's office.
100%, yeah. So basically, they're like, Tamlin is like the principal. He's pacing back and forth, and he's like, the twins are our allies. And she's like, okay, remember what they did though? They butchered 3 innocent people for sport. They hunted them down for sport, made a show of it, tore their bodies like limb from limb, and left them around as like, hey, we are in charge of you. So maybe they're not our allies. And he's like, oh, you should have come to me. You should have reported it to a teacher or trusted adult.
You should never retaliate to violence.
Yeah, this bullying.
Don't meet violence with violence. Or
Right.
report
No
it to an
violence
adult.
policy. No tolerance policy.
This is Tamlin definitely has a no tolerance policy. So basically, what happened is Lucian and Feyre had this idea for another epic prank, and so they used bait to lure the bogey. They said bogey, by the way, which is
Yes.
insane.
So I made a mental note that I know we've been memeing that it's Boge, but we actually have a better, more natural pronunciation than bogey.
No, it was boggy. She was saying, sorry,
Boggy.
yeah,
No, in
she
this
was saying-
book, here they're saying bogey. In
okay.
in
No,
book 3,
it's boggy because bogey is
no,
like.
they're saying bogey here. No, I listened to they are saying bogey in this audiobook.
Are they really?
Yes.
Because that's
I-
bogey is
yes.
Bogey. That's a fucking golf term.
No.
Also, bogey is like the bogeyman, which is like the British,
Or
word
like
for
an
bogeyman.
enemy, or like when there's a bogey on your tail.
Yeah,
Like
and
there's
makes 3, and then you shoot the third one.
But they are 100% saying bogey. I made a mental note of that's the worst way to pronounce this. Our meme is better and sounds like the correct pronunciation.
It sounds like a fake thing that they're saying, but Boge is real. So
It'd be funny. It sounds like the opposite, where like Boge is the correct pronunciation, and we're doing a goof by calling it a bogey.
Yeah.
No. So anyway, they leave a bunch of bait and they lead it as a trail to the Boge, which in my head is still for some reason this sort of gaseous frog creature from Pikmin. Nothing to do about that. It's done now. But she and Lucian,
I was wait, is it really like a gaseous? I was imagining kind of like a Wendigo or something like that.
No, it's just invisible.
No,
Oh, it is
it's
invisible.
nothing. Yeah, no, the thing I think I pointed this out. There is an enemy in Pikmin called the Smoky Prog. I don't know why, but when I first saw that, I guess Bog connected it or something, the Boge. But anyway, that I'll leave a thing in there, our Discord here. We'll leave a picture of everyone. Everyone submit your pictures of the Boge for our headcanon here. Yeah. So anyway, they leave a trail of bait and basically lead it right to the camp where the twins are like hanging out, and they're just like laughing about how good they are at being horrible and evil. They're like, "Oh, we're so evil." And the Boge comes in and kind of jumps them as a little cool prank. And I believe they managed to defend themselves and run away, yeah?
Yeah, they're
Yeah, I'm not sure
terrified,
if
but
they
they managed
kill it.
to get away.
Okay.
Yeah, which is
Um,
very funny, a very good prank, and this is a nice impromptu one because Feyre has her like mental list of all the pranks she's planning on doing, so it's nice you get to do a fun little prank just for herself.
Yeah, her and Lucian together. Yeah, having
as
a little
treat.
A little fun
sleep
little
away prank. Yeah.
treat. Yeah.
I do like that. But, okay, so Tamlin is mad. He's like, they're sitting in their chairs and he's
Big
like...
mad.
He's big
Well,
mad,
first off, he
sorry.
tells Lucian to leave. He's like, Lucian, leave. And then Feyre says, don't talk to him like that. And then there's some more back and forth, and then eventually Tamlin says, like, leave, very big mad, leave. So Lucian leaves. And then I forget what sets Tamlin off, but Feyre is intentionally prodding him, like intentionally pushing him and pushing him, trying to set him off. And I forget what exact word or what she said specifically that sets him off, but
Oh no, she what she's saying is that she knows that all the sentries are listening. And
oh yeah, she uses her powers to see
Yeah.
that Lucian and all the sentries are like
They're
at
like,
the door
they're
with
like
their ears on
eavesdropping at the door.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
all their ears at the door listening. Like, oh my gosh, shh, no, shh,
so
quiet.
So she's then telling Tamlin that you essentially hoard us out. The word she uses, you hoard us out to Highburn
That's what it was.
for me. I'm not worth it. You have sold out your people just to get me back. Because that now she's helping to make herself kind of like the queen of the Spring Court, while also undermining Tamlin further and separating him from his sentries. And then I think it's after she says you hoard us out, Tamlin just yeets furniture at her with his magic, I think is what it was.
Well,
I
he
think what happens
explodes-
is he sort of explodes and the table that he's behind like flies towards her and hits her back into the wall, basically.
Yeah, and she could have
This-
shielded herself, but she
And,
intentionally
yeah, she-
chose not to and just takes it full force and gets flung across the room and slammed into the wall.
Right. She's like bleeding. She's bruised. There's like scratches and cuts all over her. Yeah.
The same thing happened in the last book, but that's when she did shield. Like when he lost his temper while they were in her bedroom, but she does shield herself. So it's the same thing.
That was an accident then. That was when she was still discovering her powers.
Yeah. So this time she intentionally left her shield down, like knowingly.
Yeah.
And there's a split second where she's like, "This is gonna fucking hurt, but I gotta do it."
Right.
And it did hurt. She's talking about, she's like, that hurt so bad, worth it.
Worth it. I think this part was where I really like kind of my jaw dropped, and I was like, I genuinely can't believe after all of this garbage, Tamlin still let himself do this. Like really. Really.
It's crazy. This dude had how bad because this dude's anger problems are.
Yeah, that was insane. That I wasn't surprised. Like, it definitely was in character, but I was still... Like, I wasn't surprised from a character perspective, but I was still surprised at the action that, like, dude, come on, man. Like, you did all of this, and you're still gonna just fuck it all up right now, and just think that... I guess, like, if you're, an abuser's an abuser, there's not any changing that, but it's still the least... He was never a physical abuser. He was always an emotional abuser. I guess, that one thing leads to another, but it still just felt like a huge leap for him to just stop giving a shit about,
I don't think it's that he doesn't give a shit. He's just like
it was an
accident.
Abusive
I'm not
defending
asshole where
him.
Like he loses his temper for a second, then he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't know, I don't know, why did I do that? I'm sorry, I'll never do it again. Right? And
which I guess, to be fair, that's what abusers do. That is a normal thing.
That is a real
even though
thing.
It's like, that's a real thing. Abusers will like hit someone and then go, oh my God, I didn't mean it. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I'll never do that again. And then people get stuck in these cyclical abusive relationships.
Right.
Luckily, Farah... technically, even though it seems like she's not, she is intentionally letting all this happen to use it to her advantage. The best part about this is this plays out so well that it almost seems like she planned this. And she didn't. Like, this all worked to her advantage, where the twins killed those people, she played a prank on them, Tamlin got mad, and then she got hurt. That wasn't really in her original plan, but holy shit, this played right into her hand for getting to turn the sentries and the people against Tamlin. Like, oh my gosh, it worked perfectly for her.
Yeah, she kind of had broad strokes, like a broad concept that she's going for of sow discord and enrage Tamlin to a point where he does something rash. But otherwise, it is improvisational for what she is doing at each step when it presents itself.
Yeah,
it seems like the Ianthe part, she's a little more calculated with, because Ianthe's a little more predictable, I think.
Yeah.
But Tamlin, it seems more like a we're just gonna roll with this and see what happens situation.
But even then, Tamlin's pretty predictable too, to a degree. Like, she didn't know this specific thing in this room was going to happen, but she was able to predict how he would react pretty well.
Then she hits him with the she's like, "I'm so sorry. Are you?" She's like, "I'm fine."
She hits him with the "I'm fine," the weak "I'm fine," and then Lucian bursts in and
the
grabs
the nose,
and Tamlin doesn't even try to stop him this time. He just backs up and doesn't even know what to do. And so we get kind of introduced to these guards, Braun and Hart, who were listening at the door with Lucian.
They were in the second book too.
Were they? What were they doing?
They were in the beginning of the second book. These two are the ones. These are the two bro guards who, after the Midgard worm, they're like, "Yo, we heard about the worm. That's fucking crazy. Tell us about the worm,
dude." Dude, I love these guys.
That was these guys at the party.
But first they do. She does send word down the bond, which again is fated and weak. Which we will find out why later.
Right.
But, she does, and also she does note that she does slow her healing factor from the Dawn Court, specifically to make sure that the wounds present as long as possible to just make Tamlin feel guilty and to show everybody, hey, look what Tamlin fucking did. Look at this piece of shit. And so she does send word down. She does relay the story of what happened down to Rhys, and Rhys is like, I'm going to kill this guy. I'm going to rip him apart. She's like, I'm fine. She's she's like cracks some joke back to him. He's like, "I'm glad you think this is fucking funny." She's
Is
like,
this
"I'm
what
gonna
she
kill
said?
him."
Is this when she sends him an emoji?
Yeah, she sends him an emoji.
She
yeah.
sends him the tongue sticking out emoji in her mind,
then-
and
and
like
then he sends
7 hours
her-
later, he sends her back one.
Well, he sends her that emoji.
Oh, right, you're right.
Yeah.
Yes,
sorry.
like his tongue is out too, but his tongue is between something else.
It's next to
Yeah.
it's next to a peach emoji.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the tongue
exactly,
emoji,
yes.
peach emoji.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, tongue, the raindrops, and then the peach emoji.
Oh,
yeah.
and like the panting face. Yeah, that whole thing.
yeah.
Okay, so the
But yeah, so when Lucian takes her out of the room, I think Lucian says like what did you do? Looking at Tamlin, and I think there's other sentries at the door too. So like there are multiple spectators who see.
Oh yeah, there's
the aftermath of the scene.
This thing is completely uncontained. Like like 1 hour later, every person in this estate knows what happened.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and she does say to Tamlin, "You can't." When he's saying like "get out," he's like "get out. We'll deal with this later." He's talking so down to Lucian as if he's
Right.
just like a fucking child. She stands up for Lucian. Says, "You can't treat him like that."
Yeah.
She is firmly gaining an ally in Lucian, even as she is trying to just sow
the thing is,
discord here.
She's created this like super unified front against Tamlin that like Tamlin is not a part of, essentially. Like she's creating this union of her and Lucian and like the people working at the actual estate and everything. Like
she is doing an amazing job of having everybody in the court see Tamlin for how she sees the real Tamlin. She is presenting these scenarios in a way that allows everybody to finally get a glimpse behind the curtain in a way that they already probably saw, but in a more exaggerated way where they will take action. Same with Lucian.
I wouldn't
Lucian
even
saw
say.
this.
would you
but
would you classify this as entrapment?
Well, she's not a cop.
You're right.
I wouldn't even say this is
good.
exaggerated. She's just giving. Like she's like nothing is exaggerated. This is who Tamlin is.
No.
I
I think he's just saying that they haven't seen they have an inkling that of Tamlin is like, you know, somebody who maybe talks down to the people he sees as his inferiors, etc. But I don't think the guards and everything have an understanding of who Tamlin is, which is what they are seeing now for the first time.
Yeah, so basically she's giving an opportunity for Tamlin to reveal himself as the person he really is.
And to your point, Patrick, they did see him throw he did have the temper tantrum when she was stolen and he killed 2 guards, but you could in that scenario write it off as, you know, his bride-to-be was stolen, these guards failed him by letting her be stolen. Like, there are ways you could rationalize that away, but in this case, she is here to then control the narrative. She can be the voice of reason, and she's also the victim of his violence, so she is totally within her rights to handle this however she wants to, from an outsider's perspective. Like, she's allowed
100%.
to be here and control the narrative in a way that nobody could before because they were terrified of him. And the whole time she knows she can because she knows she's more powerful than him because she's a High Lady now. That was also remade in the Cauldron with the powers of everybody, every High Lord. So she could just fucking Super Saiyan his ass if he tries anything, or just shatter his mind. So it's finally allowing an avenue for everybody to say the things they wanted to Tamlin by her being there as a proxy for them.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because basically you're right. She's the only one who can like speak up and like actually be heard and not like really. But the thing is that I was about to say and not face consequences. She has faced some consequences here. Like it's pretty fucking serious, and you can see what Tamlin deals out to even people that he theoretically like loves and respects. You know.
I don't think what has happened to her physically in her mind is necessarily a consequence.
No, I don't think it is. I'm just saying from the guard's perspective that like this is the consequence of speaking out against Tamlin.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yes. Yeah. It's basically just, like, outlining more and more how much of a threat Tamlin is and how little he cares for his people. Like, if he treats his love that way, if he treats his bride to be that way, like, what kind of respect and treatment would he show his guards, his sentries?
Yeah, and so she the next day goes for a ride, but she does it specifically when she knows that Braun and Hart, those same 2 guards, are on duty with her, and so they talk to her a little bit, and you know she can tell from this discussion that they are 100% sympathetic. They're 100% on her side, and they are both now very uncertain about Tamlin, just even as not even just as a ruler, but as a person. Like they both are kind of in a, like, primed really well to be way more sympathetic to Feyre and her as their, like, you know, the Feyre curse breaker than their High Lord.
And they don't explicitly like say that, but it's more of like a vibe check.
Yeah, she vibe check. Yeah, that is what the vibes are. Yeah, for sure. And so, then that night, there is a little bit of a skidoo, a kerfuffle.
Oh yeah, and prior to this, with like the backstory too, this is also when Ianthe said her garden was, or her
temple,
the temple was dying, like the land around it. She had said that it was because of the Naga. I'm not going to say Naga. Again, that sounds like we're memeing if we were to say that. That's how they say it in the book. In both audiobooks, the last one and this one.
Yeah, Amanda, get your shit together.
Well, it's both. It's Jennifer and Amanda. Like, that's just the
I think Naga
way.
is probably the canonical pronunciation of it, but if they want to do that, they should put some accent marks in this word.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
But yeah, so the Naga, she blames them for her, or, you know, according to Ianthe, clearly she's just lying, but the story is that the Naga are the reason that her land and her garden are dying.
Right.
So that is the further backstory to what is about to happen here.
Right. So that is the setup for this. 7 Naga break into the estate, and they are found holding the estate keys that were missing up at the beginning there. And Ianthe had this miraculous vision right at the exact right time, and she was like, "Ah, the Naga, they're in the estate." And everyone's like, "What?" And they were able to get there just in time to stop them before anybody was like killed or anything. And so
this is the thing I'm a little confused about.
Yeah.
This makes it seem like Ianthe planned this whole thing, obviously. Like, she set the groundwork ahead of time that the Naga are an issue. They're ruining her lands, and then what a coincidence! The Naga break into the state, and she has a vision that lets them stop it, and they stop it. Not only did Ianthe warn us about not only did Ianthe warn us about this, and it happened exactly as she said it would, but she also saved us from this current attack. And they were found with keys on their body, on them, which helped them get in. What I don't understand is, like, I thought Feyre stole the keys.
I don't
know.
think
So
she did.
we were not
Ianthe
aware
the
of the
whole
keys
time.
being. Yeah, we were not aware of these keys being stolen, and it was Ianthe.
No,
Yeah.
we were aware of it.
We
Feyre
knew they were
mentions
stolen,
it.
but nobody. Like, Feyre didn't say in her mind, like, "Oh, I stole the keys." Oh, they didn't know.
It's just, she said, like, Tamlin was so distracted by what happened that he didn't even notice that some keys went missing the next morning. Like, the way it was set up in the beginning of
I
chapter
see what
6,
you mean. It sounds
very
like
much
she-
seems like
yeah.
Pharaoh's like, "Oh, how convenient that he was so mad," and then the keys went missing.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, no, I think it was Ianthe the whole time. It just was.
Oh, I didn't even
written
catch
strangely.
that line. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
But yeah, anyway, so there is a guard who had fallen asleep, and he basically let them, or rather, they got in because he was asleep, which the guard obviously insists, like, "Hey, wait a second, like, I never fall asleep, you know, that I must have nodded off for a few seconds," and it's pretty clear to the reader, like, someone magically put him to sleep.
And it's also, it's worth noting, it's the same guard who lost the keys.
Yeah.
I think it's the
And
guard
so-
who lost his keys is also the one who fell asleep. So, like, in theory, all of this comes back on that guard as
Yeah,
being
right.
like, this is the person who's going to get punished.
Right, and I think, like, even to the point that Ianthe suggests, like, "Oh, maybe he did it on purpose," you know? Sounds like he gave them the key. Like, she insinuates, like, "Oh, you know, we don't even know what this guy is capable of."
Yeah, and the whole time he's protesting, like, he's like, "This is crazy. I've never fallen asleep." It's like, well, yeah, because you were put under a magic spell. So
Yeah.
And then Feyre unlocks a memory that she had implanted in his head that Ianthe stole the keys. Ianthe's the one who gave the keys to the Naga, and Ianthe is the one who put him asleep or whatever. Like, so Feyre, like, knew Ianthe was doing all of this and then like, it's not clear to me how much of this Feyre set up and how much of this Ianthe set up.
So my interpretation of this was that Feyre pushed Ianthe to desperation by coming in and stealing power and spotlight from her, quite literally stealing sunlight from her through her last stunt, and pushed her to these desperate acts to have to set up this, like, hey, everybody look at me, like, I'm still important, look, I saved everybody. So she played into her hand by doing that, and then Feyre is just calling that out once it happens. By then, she obviously didn't see the memory happen. I don't think the guard even knew this happened. I think it's irrelevant if the guard actually saw Ianthe do this. She could have just created the memory even if it didn't happen. But she then just puts the memory in the guard's head of, oh, I saw Ianthe steal the keys. I saw her put me asleep. And then the guard just runs with his natural instinct to then defend himself for his honor from there.
So here's a
That was
question.
my interpretation.
How did Feyre know the keys went missing if she wasn't the one who stole them?
Everyone was talking about it. I get the impression that everyone was talking about it at the estate.
I did not hear that line, so I have no idea.
Yeah, okay.
It's also the beginning of the. It's also if you scroll to the chapter 6 and even the summary, it mentions it.
Yeah, but the impression I got was like, oh, everyone's talking about the fact that the key's gone missing, but Tamlin's so busy he didn't even know. Like, that's how busy he is.
Okay, that makes sense.
But anyway,
I wasn't sure. I mean, I think it makes sense that Ianthe set all this up, but I wasn't sure if Feyre set all this up and planted it on Ianthe.
No,
the only reason I don't think she would do that is I don't think Feyre would do that at the risk of that sentry getting killed. Because it's not clear if Tamlin was how he was gonna punish that sentry. He could have killed that sentry, and I don't think Feyre would have let that happen.
No, I really don't think she had any part in setting this up. She's just like, I can see what Ianthe's doing. I'm gonna wait for her to do it, and then I'm gonna feel the fire that comes from it. Like,
I think she has enough confidence in herself to make sure that wouldn't happen. I think she's kind of running with it in a way where she's willing to make sacrifices, but she also has this complete faith in herself to tackle whatever scenario comes up using her abilities. And just her general cunning, even without her abilities, she's like, I can tackle this.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, anyway, that whole thing happens, and of course Tamlin loses his shit and is like, okay, I'm gonna whip the guard who fell asleep on duty, and of course, like I said, the guard says like Ianthe did all this, etc., even though it's all true. Tamlin still doesn't want to hear, but Feyre steps up and says, "No, I want to hear him out." And Ianthe's like, "No,
Ianthe keeps saying like, you're gonna listen to a guard. We don't need to hear." She keeps cutting this guard off, and it's like, we don't need to hear this guard talk. Like, we already know he's guilty. Why would we listen to a guard? And then Feyre, then
Feyre sets herself as like the woman of the people, right? Like, yes. She's like, yeah,
so
she's running a very populist movement here. She's doing. I
want to hear your story. I want to hear him out. Everyone, please, we should hear him out. Like, very much creating a scenario where Tamlin has to make a choice between Ianthe and his people. Feyre, yeah. And then at the perfect timing, the incest twins show up, and they're like, and they like laugh. They're like, this fucking guy, hey,
yep.
And then pushes Tamlin's hand in favor of Ianthe, because he doesn't want to appear weak.
Yes, and so this is basically like the moment of truth, I think, for the court in general. As far as like the people working at the estate, the guards, like Tamlin's own army, things like that. Like, everybody, this is a very public situation. Everybody sees this happening in real time, and like,
yeah, because it also is the sentries that had to string up this other sentry, and we are reminded as well, because it was back in book 1 that we were told this, but the sentries were the ones that had to go across the wall, bait the humans to. Like, bait a human woman to come back, or to get killed by a human woman who had hate in her heart for fairies, so that she could then cross the wall and fall in love with Tamlin. They were the sentries were the ones making that sacrifice for like 50 years to get this to happen.
Right.
And now they're being sold out to Hybern and Ianthe and forgotten by Tamlin. So there's this whole other undercurrent going on.
I was happy for that reminder, because I honestly kind of forgot that sentries were the ones that... Because in my mind, I'm like, oh, sentries are kind of just like the guards, whatever, right? Like, they're not really that... I mean, they're important, but like, I haven't really thought about them that much, to be honest. But like,
classic Tamlin move.
Yeah, oh, sorry. And then like Andris, is that the guy's name that she killed? The guard's
Yeah,
name
the
that
guy
she
who
killed?
died in the first book, yeah.
Yeah, so like he was a sentry, and it's like, oh
Yeah.
wow, this all comes back to that additional reframing of like, oh wow, like these sentries have been putting themselves, like volunteering. It wasn't just like Tamlin was sending them to the wall. They were volunteering to go and be killed for Tamlin and for the Spring Court. And then now, months and years later, like this is the treatment they're getting from Tamlin because of Hybern.
And look at in contrast, the treatment they get from Feyre, the woman that like killed their friend, and the fact that they like are siding with her so easily over Tamlin. Like that's just like the difference between the two of them that they're presenting. Like, I mean, at this point, like I think Tamlin is. This is also like a defining moment where he establishes that like, no, I am going to rule this place as a tyrant, essentially. Like, it like no one else's input matters here. Like I am going to do whatever I want, and this is not like a. This is not an open forum of ideas. This is Tamlin's place. So I think this is the point where I think it's like there's no going back for Tamlin. Like whatever, even if Feyre didn't do anything else and disappeared at this point, like the whole thing would have fallen apart anyway.
Yeah, like Feyre has, this is definitely the grand finale of the play that she's been performing over the last couple of weeks, where she's been setting everything up, leading to this moment. And again, this is why it kind of goes back to like, did Ianthe plan this, or did Feyre help plan this at all? And I guess Ianthe's the one who planned this, but this all between her getting like abused by Tamlin, getting hurt by Tamlin, and this whole thing with the sentries, this all feels too perfect. Like it all plays into Feyre's hand, and what she's been planning absolutely picture perfectly. And the timing has worked out well too. Like she didn't have to rush any of this. It's all just like happened naturally. And the next day is the day that she's planning on leaving. And it's like, cool, this fucking worked out golden for her.
I mean, that's what happens
even better
if you're in a battle of wits and your opponents are two monkeys slapping each other in the face.
Yeah, well, even better, it ends with her like after he gets the 21 lashes, she stays after to help the healer patch him up, and Bronn and Hart personally escort her back to the manor, and they even apologize to Feyre for not stopping the abuse she has suffered, for not stopping Ianthe's plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She, like, it is confirmed back to her verbally that she has won the, like, internal power struggle and has, like, ignited the fires of revolt. Or like these internal, she has started the rumblings of just discontent.
Right.
Yep.
And
what's more, you mentioned
that.
Yeah, I was saying, you mentioned that she stayed behind to help nurse the wounds and like be with the sentry. Tamlin and Ianthe did not. Like as soon as the lashing was done, Tamlin and Ianthe
they went for dinner.
Yeah, they went for dinner. They finished whipping the guy, and they're like, I am hungry.
I have worked up an appetite.
I worked up an appetite. All that lashing has made me hungry.
Let's hit up the Cracker Barrel.
Chicken nugs.
Yeah, imagine Tamlin. He puts the lash down, sets it on the ground, and goes, Anthe, chicken nuggets. What do you want? Let's get some
Dino nugs.
What do you think?
Dino nugs.
Yeah. Also one thing that Feyre mentions here, which I think she's been doing as much as possible, is speaking to all of the guards like by name. And
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is a very smart move on her part.
She's like learning all their names and being very like creating very personal connections with them.
Yes, 100%. And like the thing is, like, again, I do not want to undermine Feyre's awesome like Hitman-esque work she's doing here, which is great. And I think that like this whole thing only works though because Tamlin and Ianthe are both so dumb and malicious and inept. But it's good because she's genuinely taking advantage of the situations that come in front of her and like handling them into the best possible outcome for like her agenda, you know?
To be fair, the whole reason they're in this situation is because that Tamlin and Ianthe are dumb and inept.
They set up like I said, they set up this cracked, busted foundation. Like she's just coming in here and finishing the job. You know what I mean? Like this is not some like bastion of stability that she has disrupted or anything. Anyway, so yeah, we have this whole situation happen with the whipping. Feyre goes back to her room, and then
we get Chapter 9, Beast Mode, Feyre.
Beast Mode. Yeah, it's called Chapter 9, Beast Mode, which I thought was interesting, because the other chapters I don't think had titles.
So, yeah, as Joe mentioned already, like, Bronn and Hart escort her back, and then everything kind of, this all confirms that Feyre's plan is working. And then that next morning, so this is the morning before they go out on the scouting journey to see the last of the 3 gaps in the wall. Mm-hmm. Alice has packed her, like, a normal pack, but also, like, a secret pack, it seems like. It seems like Alice knows Feyre's about to leave. Because
I think it was after the incident yesterday, she's realized that things have reached the fever pitch, and she and her nephews are getting out, basically.
Yeah, so Alice is like, hey, just to let you know, I'm outie. I'm going back to the summer court.
She's like, peace.
Yeah, she said, peace, I'm outie. And Feyre breaks character, like, for the first time with Alice, and it's just like, hey, don't let anyone in the summer court know how much, like, how close we are. There's a ruby with my name on it. And Alice was like, oh, shit, okay.
Yeah, Alice is like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. I'm glad she told her that, too. But, yeah, I'm glad that she and Alice kind of leave on good terms. Like, you know, she doesn't outright say, hey, you know, I'm going back to the Night Court, but she basically is, like, not disagreeing with it anymore, right?
Oh, well, she says, like, too, Alice says, you know, you'll at least have one person in the summer court, or you'll at least have one person in my court, and at least have one ally in my court, and she says this, you know, and the same to you.
Yeah, you always have one in mind. Yeah,
they both knew that she meant the Night Court,
which is cool. And so I think this. I like that they have a little nice send off. I do think that Alice being in the summer court will super come back into play later on in this book because
the servants talk, and then there's going to be this no, it's like, I am Feyre Cursebreaker. No, I am Feyre Cursebreaker. There's going to be this whole, like, all the servants stand up and support her moment. Or Tarquin maybe just won't even give a shit. I don't know. Tarquin might have just done it out of, like...
Yeah, I think we all agreed, and I think we all agreed he did that performatively. Like, I don't think he actually wants to, but, I mean... We'll see what happens.
There's going to be some resolution to that, and in some capacity. Yeah, I think we'll see Tarquin back, and
it's not going to take him that much convincing. He didn't give the kind of vibe of a guy that's hell bent on revenge.
No, he's really certainly not. I think he knows the score. I just think he isn't. I think he doesn't want to be a major player in this, like, political fucking Game of Thrones thing that's going on around him.
Yeah, isn't he like 30?
He's basically 30.
He's only been a ruler for like 30 or 50 years.
Yeah,
but
in fairy years, he's basically like 30 years old.
Yeah, he's super young.
Well, no, I mean, and I think he's like 50.
Oh no, he became a ruler super young, but he
became a ruler when he was when he became a ruler when he was Feyre's age. So he was like 20 years old.
Yeah, but he also was under the mountain for like 50 years, and then came back. So he hasn't really been a ruler for that long. That was the thing. Okay, so yeah, the next day they're all going to go back to the third hole in the wall there. The gang heads out again, and Feyre's like, okay, this is the good one. This is the one you should use to infiltrate into the human world. And then while talking to the twins, they're being a very... the second they started talking and revealing stuff, I was like, oh, Feyre's about to peace out. Like, this is the shit.
This is the info dump.
And this is the question of whether this information is real. Now that we know, is this information real or not?
It's a little info dumpy, and it's a little bit... I agree. It's a little bit much for me to feel like good about it. At the same time, though, I also think that the twins have seen... From their point of view, they've seen, like, Tamlin put his foot down and Feyre be humiliated and, like, have no standing in this court, so I don't think that they really care if she knows all this.
So I would like to, for this, because I would like to put a pin in whether this information, in this conversation, until we get to the end, because I think we can then put more context on this once we've gotten to the end of this.
Agreed. Okay, so they reveal
Because
that
I
they
have thoughts on this that requires all of the context.
So Feyre says like, "Oh, like what your army of this is big enough for your army of 10,000
she's like,
to
you
come
and what
through."
army?
You said 10,000, and they're like 10,000. We have at least 10 times that in Hybern alone, and then we have another 100,000 in these 4 nations. And she names, or no, these other 3 nations: Valahan, Montessori. So yeah, Valhalla, Montessori, and the Borgian Risk.
Yeah, I went to a Montessori school for a year. Check that out.
Yeah, so
that was like, okay, this I don't know where these places are. This I don't.
Alexa.
Yeah.
So at this point, us listening to the audiobook are a bit of a disadvantage. Alexa said she told me like she paused the audiobook. She's like, if you're reading the physical book, like in the beginning of the book, they have a map, I guess, and there's a map that shows Feyre. No, what's the name of the actual?
Prythian.
What was that?
You saying Prythian?
Prythian, yeah. Prythian is like a small island in the middle, and then up to the top left is Hybern, and then up to the top right is like the main continent, I guess. And then there's like 3 big countries on the coast of the main continent that are
I'm just
bordering.
gonna pull up a map on my phone right now while we're
Careful,
talking.
you're gonna get some fucking wild spoiler.
Careful. Yeah.
You're gonna
it's in the
see
front
like
of the
This is the
book,
map
but it's not a
post Grand
spoiler.
War. Yeah.
yeah, post Grand War they reverse Pangea it and combine everything into one big island using Pharaoh's cauldron.
Yeah,
Dude, this island-
Pharaoh land.
Are you fucking serious? This island's the exact same shape as Westeros.
Oh, it is. Yeah, we've seen this before. It is exactly the same shape as Westeros. It's hilarious.
The Night Court is even the exact same area as Winterfell.
Yep. No, 100%.
Wow.
And it's 7 kingdoms. We've
There's 7. Look, the Spring Court is actually Dorne. I didn't realize that. They're in the literally exact same space. Nice.
It's very
good
silly.
work. Anyway.
But anyways, knowing with that context of how small Prythian is, and then how many, like, it seems like insurmountable odds. It seems ridiculous. Like, I don't know what's going to happen to this. It seems absurd how bad the odds are against them. But either way, she gets that big, like, so the army is 200,000, and then Feyre also says, like, why do you even need a big army if you have the cauldron, right? The cauldron, you can just make it, you can wipe the world clean or whatever. And the twins say that he needs this exact spot on the wall because the cauldron will study the work they've already done and magnify it until the world collapses or whatever. So every time these 3 splits in the wall, we still don't know where these splits in the wall happened, and maybe that'll get explained at some point in the future. But apparently the cauldron is going to study these 3 cracks in the wall so it can understand how to do it again, which is kind of a weird concept if the cauldron is like...
Yeah, it's mildly sentient. So this...
Yeah.
Well, it did create the universe. So the third spot, this was a person or object of mighty... I think something of mighty power passed through it and created this crack in the wall. So the cauldron is going to basically study that like energy signature kind of and figure out how to do that to the entire wall because they want to reclaim their entirety of what they had before they were first beaten in the initial war and had to stop enslaving humans.
It's just weird that the sentient god cauldron that created the universe needs to be taught how to take down a wall by like I don't and whatever. It just seems silly, but
I would like to get through these books so that I can properly Google the cosmology and religious backdrop and mythology of this through a nice wiki fandom.
We'll just move forward to the events here. So basically Feyre is like, okay, mentally taking notes of like, this is how many troops they have, these are the locations, these are the allies and the foreign nations that are allied with them, etc. She does have her go bag with her supplies she needs to escape and to get back to the Night Court. So she basically has realized.
She's dipping.
Yeah, she comes to the realization like, yeah, this is it. This is the time to go. And so she has everyone's in the right place. Like, you know, she's basically sitting here alone with the twins. The sentries are going to get her water.
No, the twins were gone too, right? The twins were somewhere else.
They leave. So
basically, I don't know why Feyre's like alone. Tamlin and Ianthe are out doing something. Everyone's out doing something right now. I don't understand what everyone's doing.
Yeah,
her
point was just like, I'm alone, basically. So And she has the sentries with her, and she sends them out to get water because she says that she needs to like nurse her wounds from Tamlin further. Good move. Fucking good move.
Either way, she's dipping, she's going through the woods, and she's like, all right, I'm outie, I've done my job, like, dusts off her hands, but she hears Lucian telling Ianthe to back off. And she kind of just further overhears him telling her, like, not to touch him, and her saying, oh, I thought you would have, come back to me after the rite, referring to Calamai.
Oh, wait, real quick. We skipped over one detail that she planted, as she was leaving, she planted in the heads of the sentries after she left to let everyone know, to spread word to the Spring Court that the reason that Feyre left is she ran for her life because the incest twins were trying to kill her. Yeah. And Tamlin and Ianthe refused to lift a hand to help. So Feyre ran for her life. So that was like her original, like, okay, this is my story I'm going with, and then she leaves. And then
I think it'll still work out, but we'll get to that. Like,
so she overhears Ianthe about to essay Lucian. So she has this just like, fuck, I have to stop my initial plan. Like, I could just make a clean getaway, but she sees Lucian basically bound to a tree using the chains that
those chains that negate your specifically the same
kind
kind of
Rhysand,
chains that were used on Rhysand. So she's seeing this and she's like, fuck this.
So she shows up and she sees Ianthe with a hand, and Lucian is already, his shirt's off and his undone, and the first buckle or first button on his pants is undone. Ianthe has her right hand on Lucian's stomach, and she goes into Ianthe's mind, and it then kind of also is trying to having to block out the images of her doing this to other men the entire time.
Well, first off, Ianthe's like, she sees.
Oh yeah,
Ianthe sees Feyre.
She's like, why don't you let us finish our business, then we'll find out.
Yeah, she's like, oh, we're just playing a game, isn't that right?
We're rehearsing for a play.
Yeah. So then just Feyre's just like, all right, nah, fuck this, and goes into Ianthe's head and just cracks her mind immediately. It's like, all right, unshackle Lucian. She makes her unshackle Lucian, and then she's like, all right, go pick up that rock off the ground. And I was like,
and I think Feyre's saying all this out loud too.
Out loud.
Yeah,
Lucian's
watching.
So
Lucian is watching all this happen. Feyre issuing commands, and Ianthe repeating them, and Lucian's like, oh fuck, watching all this happen in real time.
Because he doesn't know what a Daemati is or what any of this is. So he's just like, what is happening? So she's like, go pick up that rock. She's like, go put your right hand against that boulder. She's like, and I want you to smash your hand with that rock until I tell you to fucking stop. And every time you are not allowed to use you can use a healer for the bones. You cannot use a healer for the scars. You are not allowed to touch anybody else like you're doing this until, unless you are they touch you first. You will remember this moment every second of your life, and you will never remember why. Every time you look at your hand, you'll remember this moment, and you will never remember why.
Specifically, you'll remember that you're never to ever touch anyone against their will who hasn't given you explicit permission. And every time you think about doing that, you'll remember this moment, and you'll be filled with such fear, and you have no idea why you're filled with this fear.
And the whole time, she's just smashing her right hand with a rock until it is just like a
bloody pulp, basically.
Yeah, she describes it as just like a bunch of blended bones and flesh, like bones held together with flesh, basically.
And then it ends with her saying, "You have to." She's like, and then she also just, I can't remember what she says at the end. She adds in one last like personal dig, but then she says, "Now I want you to kneel here until somebody finds you."
Yep.
And it was just like, oh fuck, that was dope. I thought she was just gonna kill her. But that was way better because she even says to her, she even says to her, that's what it was.
Yeah.
It's like, I hope you live the longest, most unhappy life, full of difficulty and struggle.
And she said, I was planning on slitting your throat, but this is way better.
Right.
Yeah.
She was like, we shared a bed together last night. Like they shared a tent rather, and I thought about cutting your throat all night, but this is better.
Yeah, I'm glad I waited. So then,
So we're throwing. Feyre didn't think like Feyre wasn't like, oh, my plan's gone. I've abandoned my entire plan. She kind of thought she's like, okay, I'll do this and then leave. Like she still planned on leaving after this, but. Then from behind, like, so Lucian's looking stunned still about everything that's happened. And then from behind them, you hear the voice of one of the twins say, the word you're looking for, Lucian, is Daimati. And it's like, oh, fuck. The twins saw all of that.
Yeah. They're being weird in the background, right? So they reveal that, like, we've also been doing some shit. Have you noticed we've been slowly poisoning you?
Oh yeah. So they're like, hey, have you noticed the headaches? So this entire time, Feyre has been having headaches, and she thought it started with when she used with the when we were talking about how the humans had showed up at the wall. She had pushed her powers through the wall to get into their heads and plant the memories. She had thought that must have been where the headaches were coming from. That pushing.
Well, no, I think it was even before then. Yeah, because remember when the twins first tried to break into Tamlin and Lucian's mind. So the whole time she's been there, she's been trying to shield as many people in the manor as possible. And she alluded to the fact, she's like, oh, I've been trying to shield so many people, I've been totally drained. Like, she's been so every day. She said she's like really, really tired. And she actually says this before. She's like, oh, I've been so tired every day because I'm spending so much energy and so much magic shielding as many people in the manor as I can from the twins. So she kind of thought it was just she was exerting herself too much. And then, we find out they've been like slowly poisoning her magic poisoning her in her food.
So what they've been doing actually is taking, basically it was, I think it's the same like material that makes up those blue Fey chains. They've been grinding it up into a fine powder and slipping that into her food. So into everybody's
specifically
food.
Ianthe's been doing that.
They've been doing that to Ianthe also.
Yeah, Ianthe's also been being poisoned.
Yeah, so the twins have been doing that to everybody in the Spring Court.
I thought Ianthe was the one who was grinding the powder and putting it in Feyre's stuff.
No, they were doing it to Tamlin, to Lucian, and to Ianthe. They were draining everybody's power except for them.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to reread that. I seriously thought Ianthe was helping them do that.
No, I don't. I think they were also poisoning her. But yeah, they also they also wait. No, were they?
Yeah, you can see. No, it says here. Yeah, they tell her they gave Ianthe crushed Faebone stone ground so fine.
No. So they gave it to Ianthe to put in Feyre's.
Oh, okay.
food.
So they
were working with her. You're right.
Yeah.
I bet they were poisoning Tamlin and Lucian too, though.
Yes,
that
was
other
true.
People.
Okay, but they were working with Ianthe.
Okay. So anyway, she notices she ate an apple an hour ago that was grown in the king's garden and was basically poisoned.
They're like, oh, have you felt the apple yet? And she's like, what apple? Like, oh, the one we grew in the king's personal garden.
the one we grew in the garden is a sick reference to Snow White.
Yeah, we've been laced with Faebane.
And we've been fucking carrying this Faebane, and we've been carrying this apple for weeks, waiting to give it to you at the right time. Like, how'd they know to give it to her today, of all times? Like, why today? Whatever. Like they were on plot point. They were on to her.
Okay, this is what I'm getting from it, is that today is the day they decided we're gonna kill her. Like, because I think they had already kind of decided to do this, which is why they were following her around.
Were they gonna kill her, or were they planning on just muting her powers so that they can?
That's what I think they were wanting to do. Is they wanted to mute her powers so they could get her alone and kill her when Tamlin's not there.
Okay, I must have missed that.
I don't think they said it outright.
Yeah, they didn't say what
they're inferring from it.
Yeah, and so this apple was enough of the Faebane stone to knock out her powers for a few days. So now she has eaten this, and she's like, okay, I'm on a timer. There is, as I'm digesting this, in whatever amount of time, I'm going to be completely magicless.
And she said she already feels it, right? Like, she already feels a little bit weaker. And I think they even said like 10 minutes or something like that. It's not that much time that they have left to
Right.
have her powers. I think they said for some reason 10 minutes sinks in my head as one of the twins said like, oh, your powers will be gone in 10 minutes or something like that. So they've been specifically the twins are talking and they're trying to keep her talking to
Long
run
enough,
out the
yeah.
clock so her powers to be gone.
Right.
Yeah.
And so,
So they have a nice. So she starts immediately. She's just like, all right, I got to just start fighting here. She starts.
Yeah.
She winnows.
Well,
and
she has a moment where she looks at Lucian and she's trying to decide if
Oh,
she
right,
wants
yeah.
to stay and
if she
fight
should like run or stay.
or
yeah.
run. And I think Lucian like kind of tells her with his eyes like, run,
He's like,
get out
"Go,"
of here. And then she's like, okay, cool, I decided. And she winnows. And I thought she was like, okay, cool, she's dipping, but
Yeah, I
she
thought that
winnows
too.
with a knife and attacks the male twin.
Dagged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Dagged
Dagden,
in.
she shows up and like cuts right into his stomach and his armor and everything, and then like from that distraction, Lucian is able to.
No, not
climb-
yet. Not
okay.
yet. She cuts into his shoulder once, and then the two of them get into a sick teleporting knife battle.
Oh right,
where,
like Shadow the Hedgehog, where they're like
Yeah.
teleporting around the field.
Yeah, so Lucian is watching like shocked at what's happening, and then even the female twin, she's actually like Farah sees her
Please, Kenneth
face at some
Branagh.
point, and I think she's even shocked because they totally underestimated Farah. They thought like, okay, cool, she's a Daimati, but they didn't think that she was like as well trained. Thanks to Cassian. Like huge thanks to Cassian. They didn't think she was as well trained in combat as she is, and she's keeping pace with this dude who is like a commander. And she says that she's like he's not just like some regular highburn goon. He is a commander who fought in wars. He's a way harder combatant than anyone she's fought before. But she's keeping pace with him, and the two of them, and like she realizes at first he's not striking hard. He's not striking hard. Nerve missed it. He was looking down. He missed it.
Sorry, he's not. Hit me again with that striking hard, please.
No, I mean you missed the balloons popping up on my screen. You didn't.
Oh,
you were
okay,
looking
yeah.
down. And you missed it. So the balloons. So
I'm so sorry.
You missed the balloons popping off.
Yeah, I'll be back one.
But they, so like he's not doing hard strikes. They're doing, like he's just trying to kind of basically stall for time. So they are just quickly so what she does to distract him, she pauses in the middle of the fight and launches like a huge wave of fire at the girl, the sister. Branna, and she's like, apparently she was like, she had her mental barriers up and she was like ready for a mental attack. She was not ready for a wall of fire to strike her. So the fire hits her. She screams in despair, and like you can smell burning flesh as like it totally singes her face and her body. And the brother then gets fucking pissed, and he goes like extra hard on trying to attack Farah. And then during that, and then like she lands, like Farah like lands like a really good cut on his stomach or something
she
like
gets a good
that.
stab in when he was distracted.
Yeah, and then he gets more mad and attacks her more furiously. And then while he's distracted, Lucian then gets his sword out and just cuts the sister's head off.
That I did not see coming. I like
Neither did I.
Just a straight beheading. Just
Like it was like Lucian like stabbed out with his sword and like did like a wide slash, and then her head hit the ground. I was like, what the fuck? Just
Yeah,
a
that's
good
just-
clean cut through. Like that's wild.
Lucian's just like, dude, I'm overdoing nothing. I hate everybody here. I'm so upset. I'm just gonna go sicko mode and just cut somebody's head off.
Yeah, I do like that though, because I feel like this is when Lucian kind of like snaps and like kind of realizes that this is it. This is the end. We got to do this.
Yeah,
Like,
any scene too that I think in these actions too, like you said with Feyre's training, that well, one, he has to act anyway, but also that probably in Feyre's training a little bit that her time at the Night Court was not bad. Clearly, she learned. Like clearly, this is all beneficial because she's a fucking beast right now.
Well, he says it at the end of this combat encounter. He says, "You're right, Farah. You are not the same girl from before that I knew before Under the Mountain."
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah. So
but then
she
the sickest thing, Patrick. Do you wanna?
No, you do. I've been talking. You say. So
Yeah,
Tamlin
so-
beheads his sister, and
Take
then
us home.
Yeah, so then Dagden goes in to attack Lucian, and Feyre just stabs him through the eye and through his skull. They decided, yeah, let's just make a insanely violent action scene, and she just goes
Yeah.
through the eye and through the back of the skull. And they even I can't remember how they described it. They even described the feeling she felt of like his brain squishing.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it was some like real like Last of Us 2. Like you could see like the individual strands of the gums like snapping as the knife cuts through them. And shit.
Like when the twins showed up in this area, I was not expecting a full combat scene, and even when the
not at
combat started, I was like, okay, like Favor's gonna like have some fight with them and then teleport away and leave or something like I don't know. I was not expecting both of the twins to fucking
No, absolutely
die.
did not think they would die. And this next part also was not as expected to me. Although I think somebody said this, and I don't remember who. Who was the one that suggested that when Feyre does peace out of here, Lucian's coming with her back to the Night Court? One of the three of us said that.
I don't know. I think in the last book we talked a lot about the potential of Lucian going to the Night Court at some point.
Yeah.
Or like
One of us like half-heartedly suggested it as like that could happen.
yeah, I don't remember. One of us said that. It might
Yeah.
have been Joe. I don't know.
I think it does make sense that and this ends with a combat like interaction versus a talking through interaction, because we just had a whole part 1 of that. We have to truly showcase all of Feyre's new abilities.
Yeah.
And we had shown all of her, minor magic powers, the Daemati stuff. We had seen her ability to handle the political aspect. We had to show what she learned combat-wise on her own, and we had not done that yet. So it made sense that we had to finally round out what does Beast Mode Feyre look like after her training.
Yeah, which is good. And so, of course, after this, like, Lucian, like, he's like, okay, you're going back to the Night Court, and he's like, take me with you. And she hesitates for a second, but then, she
Well, she says
realizes,
no initially.
Oh,
She
she
doesn't
does, you're
hesitate.
right,
She says no, and he's like, and he's kind of like standing there with his sword covered in blood, with the 2 incest twins dead on the ground.
Yeah,
he's like,
yeah.
dude, please.
He's like, please? And she's like, okay, don't make me regret this.
Yeah, we also tells her that he's like, look, you're not.
Oh,
You need extra. Like you're completely fading magic. You need extra help to winnow all the way to the night court. You're not making.
yeah.
it
He's
without
like,
me. You don't have a choice.
you're not gonna make it on your own in your current state. And she's like,
Yeah.
fuck, you're right.
So yeah, they do winnow away a little distance, not like super far as they can go essentially, and they find themselves at the entrance of this like cave network.
They call them doors, which I was confused about, and then
They made some
they
reference to
explained
this
it.
in the previous book, but like very like offhanded reference. I don't remember much about it, but yeah, like,
they can't winnow all the way there. They both run out of magic and are exhausted, but all they can do is make it to like this system of caves,
like portals essentially.
like a portal system.
And then Feyre
which-
says, and then like Lucian asks, he's like, usually there's sentries marked at the door, at stationed at these doors. Did you also get rid of them? And she was like, yep. My boy Cassian always told me to have a backup plan.
Yeah. She's like, I always have 2 backup plans, which
Yeah.
She has definitely needed in this situation. And so, yeah, she has left this door open in the spring court area. So
There's 3 doors here at this cave that go to 3 different places. One goes to the summer court, which we assume is probably the door Alice took, and that but like she tells Lucian, she's like, there's a hit out on me in the summer court. We can't go there.
right.
One goes to the autumn court, and Lucian's
Right, but
like,
then
we're
Lucian's like, there's a hit out on me in that court.
yeah. And then the 3rd door goes back under the mountain from the first book, and Lucian was like, we basically like we went in there, we cleared it out,
They said we closed off the under the mountain barrier.
closed a lot of it off. If we go in there, we might get trapped. We can't. If we go back in there, that's going to be, we might not have a way out. So Pharaoh's like, cool, we're going to the autumn court, and Lucian's like,
Yeah.
all
He's like
right.
shrugs.
I
He's
thought-
like, okay.
I thought Lucian took the lead on that. I don't think Feyre made that call.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Because I think that he did. Yeah. Because Lucian's
Yeah,
like,
Lucian
I know a
took the
safe place in the autumn court we can go.
Okay, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't put Lucian in a bad spot or compromise or like character. It was like Lucian is making a
Yeah.
sacrifice here to
Right.
for her. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we end on this like giganto cliffhanger with, of course, that like, as we said before, like gigantic status quo shifting.
This is the second time Feyre has had a very dramatic exit from the Spring Court that we're not going to see a resolution to. Like, we're not going to see the like last time she had her whole exit and we didn't get to know what the
fallout is, I guess.
The fallout of that was until like way after the fact. So again, she's leaving with the twins dead. She's leaving with Lucian. All the sentries fucking hate Tamlin. She's implanted. Oh, right. One more thing we forgot. She implanted one more memory in someone's head, I think. Oh, she implanted a memory in Ianthe's head, like right before she left. Because originally she told Ianthe, like, oh, you have no idea who did the hand thing to you. And I think that still holds true.
She said she told Ianthe, she's like, you fell. Like,
yeah. So she's like, oh, say you fell. You don't know I did this. But with this, she's like, she told Ianthe, like, she put the memory in her head. She's like, let them know that I did this. Let them know that they attacked. Like, tell everyone that the twins attacked me and no one lifted a finger to help me, so I killed them to defend myself.
Yeah, no, she put that in the head of the guards before they left.
Yeah, the sentries.
No, but she did a new one. Right after she killed the twins, she was like, tell them that I, like, don't... And she went into Ianthe's head, and it wasn't clear if she was going to hide the fact that Feyre... I'm pretty sure. It wasn't... Because originally I was like, oh, she's going to put in Ianthe's head that she wants to hide that she's the one who did this. But she tells Ianthe, she's like, no, let everyone know that I did this. They attacked me, and I defended myself.
No, I thought she told Lucian that, and Lucian was like, no, I'm going with you. I thought she told Lucian, tell everyone.
Right, that's what you're thinking of, because she tells Lucian out loud, like, tell them this is what happened, and he's like, no, I'm going with you.
Maybe that's what it was. Okay.
Right, okay. Okay, so I guess Joe, did you have some spiel you wanted to do?
No, I was going to say, it's back to, like, whether or not the information she got from the twins was accurate. Yeah. I think there's the possibility that either they're just giving her false information to, like, downplay. Like, there's just that possibility that because obviously they're on to her at this point. They already know, because, like, that they're on to her fully and have been the entire time. The information could be false. They could just be villain monologuing because they know they're going to kill her or
that's
eliminate her as a problem.
Theory, yeah.
Or they could just be
I also think a little bit of his... That's what I was going to say. I also think they're arrogant enough to think that giving her the real information about how big their army isn't going to improve her chances, right?
Yeah,
like, they're so powerful, their army is so big, they have the cauldron, they're unstoppable. Who cares if we give her who our allies are and what the size of our army is, because, like, we're fucking we're killing everyone anyways. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, so it's like a whole thing, and I do think that the information, my guess is that it's accurate, just because I think the book would be less interesting if it wasn't. I mean, there's no reason. The characters are dead now. Like,
yeah, exactly. Agreed. So that's the thing. They're dead now. My gut reaction when they died, I was like, they're coming back to life, right? But because of the cauldron, my gut reaction is they'd be brought back to life.
Yeah.
But the reason Dream was brought back is because his soul was kept in his eye in the ring.
Yeah.
Like, the soul was intact and they had the soul. Because the twins are killed and their souls weren't, like, maintained in any capacity, I'm wondering if the cauldron can bring them back?
Also, we were told the cauldron's in currently a weak state due to raising two humans to face status. So if that is true, it might not be able to do that in a timely manner before their souls are totally gone.
Yeah.
And also, does the King of Hybern even give a shit about his niece and nephew? Is also...
No, I also don't think he would waste the cauldron's power on them anyway. So
that's
irrelevant.
Like,
I think it'd be... Yeah. I think part of me thinks it'd be funny to have kind of a Star Wars style rematch of, like, these two characters you killed are back from the dead and now they want revenge, but also, like, there's enough conflict and I don't necessarily know if we need them back. I don't know how interesting it'd be. We had enough of them in this book. I don't know if we need them back again.
Yeah,
I think they serve
I
their
agree.
purpose.
I was about
Yeah.
to say. I think they were there to just like, instigate this stuff and catalyze this plot. But yeah, so I'm really would like to see what happens next. I think my biggest question going into this next part is like, how easily is Rhysand and everyone else going to receive Lucian into this alliance with them?
I mean, if he had come without Feyre,
Not at all.
that'd be
for
one
sure.
thing. But I think
Yeah.
Feyre being there makes a big difference, and he shows like he's already been skeptical of Tamlin. He's eager to be reunited with his mate, even though he's never said a single fucking word to this woman. He's eager to be reunited with his mate, and I think my guess is that he is seeing more of Feyre and who she really is now.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I guess what I'm getting at more is like, okay, I'm not saying look, obviously they show up there, Feyre's gonna vouch for him, and Rhysand will say like, okay, like I trust you. How much are they gonna trust him though, even if they are allowing him to like hang out? They're not gonna throw him in prison. I'm just saying like,
yeah, I guess like where are they gonna let him be? Like, are they gonna bring him to Valaris?
I mean, yeah, I don't really even know like where are they gonna still be suspicious that he is somehow like working for Tamlin undercover? Like, I don't know, but I'm just curious about how well, like, like I said, he'll be like received by them, and if he can offer them like further information and use and everything too, like to the Night Court.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
One thing I keep thinking about with respect to the power of the cauldron, we keep talking about how the cauldron's in a weak state because it made two mortals into immortals, but then also there was like a queue, right? The two sisters were made immortal, and the queens were all like, me next. So were the queens made immortal, or did they have to wait for the cauldron to be re-energized?
To recharge?
And if the cauldron takes that long to recharge after making two humans to immortal, making the remaining four queens immortal, like do they?
If I was
like,
Hybern,
I'm curious to see what's going to happen with that.
If I'm speculating, and if I'm Hybern, what I've done is turn these two women immortal in front of these queens, and then say, "Oh, it's recharging," so then I can keep them under my thumb while they still wait for that.
Yeah, I kind of probably agree with that as well.
But anyway,
I guess we'll see if the queens show up again and have like fun powers or whatever.
Yeah, I hope they're dead. Okay, so let's do some predictions quickly. I don't know if I think they're gonna get back to the Night Court real soon. It sounds like there's gonna be a little bit of an adventure through the Autumn Court, and I think that like here's the thing is that like I think Feyre is unable to signal to Rhys where she is now because of the apple and all that shit, right?
Yeah, I mean they both have no power, so they're gonna be roughing it for a few days without power.
Yeah, so they're basically we've got at least a few days of them like roughing it like as regular Joes and also regular Joe here, and I'm curious if in that we're going to run into Lucian's like brothers. I think that we will while we're there.
I'm curious who the safe spot is in Autumn Court. Like who the safe point is.
yeah.
Is it like his mom or something?
No.
Did his mom die?
No, the person that gave him the eye is from the Autumn Court, right?
Oh, no. She's from like the Dawn Court or something
Dawn
like
Court,
that.
yeah,
She's
yeah,
from one of the
Dawn
other
Court,
courts.
Is his mother dead, or did his father like kill her? Did she flee?
Lucian's mom is the one who helped Feyre under the mountain, remember? She showed up and she was like,
oh yeah.
She's like,
she's still like married or whatever to his father, like.
Yeah, my gut is there like maybe they paint her to be kind of sympathetic in that like the father and the brothers are all assholes, but like the mother's actually like kind of nice. Maybe she has her own house in the woods or something like that.
Yeah. I think that would be good if it's his mom, or just maybe it's a friend, could be anybody.
It could be just a friend we haven't met before. It doesn't have to be a character we've met already. I guess the question with the mom is like how trustworthy is the mom?
Right. I think my thing though is just that there is going to be an encounter with I think the brothers, while they're in the
Yeah,
Autumn
they're
Court.
not going to pass through the Autumn Court with no conflict, right? There's
Yeah,
got to be
yeah.
something. Whether it's probably not going
I
to be
do
the dad because, but the brothers would be good. One of the brothers or something.
I think like it's going to be the two brothers, and I also think that like
Aren't there like 4 brothers?
I think he has 2 brothers only. I might be wrong, but I
For
thought.
some
he only
reason, I
had
thought
2
there were
brothers.
like a bunch of them.
No. Anyway, I think they're going to have an encounter, and I think Reese and crew are going to have to be the ones to get them out of that, because it may just happen at the opportune time they find them or something. But anyway, that's my bit. Anyone else got anything?
I think we're just going to see the more obvious. All I can really confidently predict is just the more obvious. This is going to be finally the open discussion of, hey, this is the real Feyre. This is what has kind of happened. This is what's really going on. And we might get more insight into Lucian's kind of
Past.
frame of mind on where we are currently and why he's made the decisions a little bit, like maybe a little more candid look into where he's at and why he did what he did.
So we did actually get one
Kind
thing
of,
that
yeah,
we forgot to mention in this chunks. I can't remember when it was because it wasn't in the summary, but at some point in the recent chapter chunk that we just read, they allude to Lucian went to the Dawn Court to see their great one of the courts. They have a great library full of like reference or something like that, where like they have all this lore and information. And apparently Lucian was going there to try and find ways of breaking the curse.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was trying to find ways of breaking the curse. And Tamlin
The bargain between Reese and Tamlin.
And
Specifically.
Or the Reese,
Yeah,
Reese
sorry,
and
yes,
Feyre.
the bargain
Reese
between-
and Feyre, yeah.
Reese and Farah, yeah. Like Lucian had been looking into that at the beginning of the last book and was like really trying to get into it. And I think that is when Ianthe and had pitched the idea of Hybern being able to do it at some point in the last book. And Lucian was like, no, hold on. Don't resort to that yet. I'm trying to find out if I can do it via my own ways. Mm-hmm. And then when Feyre gets taken, Tamlin gets more frantic about it. And Lucian is still trying to like buy for time as much as possible. So Lucian's like going to the libraries, doing research, trying to figure out how to get Feyre back, how to like deal with the bargain and all that. And it's when it's the moment in the last book. So apparently 2 things happen. One, the letter that Feyre sends Tamlin made it worse, not better. Tamlin got that letter, assumed she was writing it against her will, and that's when he was like, we should do this hybrid thing. And then Lucian was like, no, give me more time. And then when Lucian finds Feyre in the woods and Feyre like puts on that really threatening act telling Lucian to leave, Lucian then goes back to Tamlin at that point, and Lucian says, okay, you win, do the Hybern thing, let's go to the King of Hybern. So we find out that actually Lucian, he actually gives like kind of permission to Tamlin to do the King of Hybern thing. So Lucian's hands are not totally clean in that affair, if I read that correctly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but we'll see. I'm hoping we get more. Obviously they're painting Lucian out to be sympathetic, and they've already done a good job of making us like get more on board with him in the beginning of this book. And I'm assuming they're going to keep trying to do that as the book goes on, especially now that he's with Feyre.
Yeah. We obviously know where we know where the destination is. It's just going to be the journey of reforming him as a character.
I'm really curious to see what Lucian's relationship is going to be with everyone in the Night Court, and also
Elaine.
Feyre's sisters. Like, is there going to be like is Reese going to accept him with open arms? Is there going to be some like super contentious butting of heads where Lucian hates everyone and everyone hates him? Is Cassian going to enjoy just fucking with him and just like toying with him? Like, it's interesting to have Lucian introduced into this group dynamic and see what that's like. I'm really, really curious to see how that goes. We don't have the next chunk figured out yet. Alexa has to get us that, but I am curious if we get back to the Night Court in time. Are we going to see anyone from the Night Court in this next section at all, or is it going to be just Lucian and Feyre bumming around the forest, roughing it for the next 7 chapters or whatever, I don't want it to feel too drawn out. I'm hoping it doesn't feel too drawn out, but if they have a conflict they run into, then maybe it'll sustain itself.
Yeah. Okay, so one thing I do want to do quickly before we close out is a few little shout outs. We got a really nice message DM from in TikTok from Joey, who's a listener, and she was saying like she really enjoyed our discussions about toxic masculinity at RE Tamlin. So thank you for that. We had a nice conversation. We also got some comments from Jess, I guess, Mia, Tabitha, and Lily's put in a few comments in the last few days. Been blasting through these episodes. Thanks, Lily. On Spotify, so make sure you can leave some comments on there. I do like this one from Lily from 2 days ago. I want to give a special shout out to. Tamlin defenders are absolutely typing this from their institutions.
I feel bad because I think we have a couple Tamlin Defenders listeners and we fucking roast these guys all the time.
I have no sympathy. Tamlin Defenders and Microsoft are the two unprotected groups. Okay, so yeah, anyway, thank you guys for that. And remember, you can go to akababpod.com. You can find us on all the platforms and our Discord there as well. If you want to jump in, there's a Spoiler Girlies chat that we cannot access where you can laugh at us. Lindsay says it's pretty funny in there.
Yeah, join the Discord. Occasionally, Rachel says some unhinged things in the Discord, like she makes us all feel really old all the time.
Yeah.
It's very offensive stuff.
Yeah, so really offensive stuff that's really pushing the edge of comedy. Okay, so let's get out of here. Thank you guys for listening. Our theme song is Red Queen by Parachutes. We should have a new version of that pretty soon, by the way, which I'm excited to debut. Yeah, please, I guess... Because I was trying to say something the other day, and I was like, there should be something that we say at the end that really motivates people to keep going, to do their best. Like, it just really face the day as if a long road is ahead of them, but be prepared to move down it in sort of a forward motion. You know what I mean?
just letting you build this up. This is such a long lead up to keep on trucking. I'm going to just let you...
Keep on trucking. That must have been that.
Keep on trucking.
Keep on trucking.
See you guys.
Bye.
Stop.
If you play the game.